Hey, ladies. Welcome to T's Journey. My name is Tina, and I enjoy vlogging about my life, whether I am cooking, DIYing, home decor. I'm moving really soon, so I'm going to have to redecorate that space. Let's see, I love to garden, so we'll have a lot of relaxing garden videos. And because I am in my 50s, I like to give some advice. I have a mental wellness group as well, but on this channel, I'm more laid back, discussing things that I love to do, but I always want to give some advice. Listen, when you start reaching your late 30s, you need that wisdom, okay? But I am in my 50s. I call it my Jubilee decade, and we'll talk about that more. But this is a series that talks about your identity, advice in your 50s, or advice as you mature, with some practical examples of how to apply the things I'm going to share. So, if you like that type of content, please join the community. We are all on our own journeys, and we can sure use some advice, especially in these times. Okay, it's a lot of things going on out here, but I like to create a safe space where people can relax, they can work on their mental health. We can come together and talk and grow and develop as mature women. Your identity shift. A lot of us, we can feel ourselves shifting, all right? And sometimes that could be a little strange. I know that some of us are entering into menopause, some of us are in perimenopause, and maybe we'll talk about that in another video. But right now, I want to focus on our mindset as we are shifting, right, into another decade of aging, right? So whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, it shifts. And older women used to tell me when I was young, each decade, or like every 5 years after 25, you are going to see yourself changing. And I remember dating one guy, and his auntie, she was celebrating her 45th birthday, right? And she having a good time, and then she looks at me, I'm in my late 20s, and she said, honey, you think you sexy right now, but honey, you ain't seen sex appeal until you turn 45. And I cracked up laughing because I'm like, okay, auntie. But she was so right. The older that I'm getting, the better that I believe I'm getting anyway. Okay, so I'm trying to stay right on point. So I wrote down some notes to keep me focused. So, as you are maturing, you are feeling this identity shift. Okay, so it is a sign of growth and not a crisis. So I know a lot of us, when we're going through menopause or perimenopause, it may feel like we are in a crisis. And, that depends on if your hormones are really out of control, right? But if you're just going through regular menopause and perimenopause, there are things that you can do to ease that hormonal imbalance. Fun fact, my background is an ex nurse, right? And so as I have grown older, I shifted from nursing into teaching, right? So we're going to talk about that. Like, I want a soft life, okay? I want a soft life. And even though teaching has its challenges, I can still curate a life that's a little softer um, when I am teaching. So we'll talk about that in a minute. You may feel like you're losing yourself, but you are shedding layers that no longer fit you. All right. So let's circle back to me being a nurse. I was a nurse for 15 years. I was a single mom during that time of five children, and I was burnt out. By the time I got married, and that's a backstory, all right? I'll do a story on how my husband married me with five children. And not only did he marry me, but he adopted the children and put his name on the birth certificate. Okay. So that's a whole different story. But he offered that soft life that I could live, right? And I could focus on continuing to raise my children. However, as I got older in my 40s, because I got married at 33, 34, one of them ages, and I wanted to shift. Once I got about 45, 46, I was like, I'm burnt out from nursing, right? I'm burnt out from the hospital. And I shifted dead in the middle of me going for my RN, right? And I was doing well, great grades. You know, when you take your practice test, I was the second highest in the class. The teachers had high hopes in me, and boom, I shifted right in the middle. Okay. And I'm not telling you to do that because I believe that shift and that calling was pulling me before, but I was too scared to step out because nursing, I really did enjoy it, right? I don't regret being a nurse. I love to take care of people even now. My mom got sick and I went down, to Chicago to take care of my mom, and she had a nurse come out and they were teaching me how to change her wound bandages and everything. Um, and let me tell you something. That nurse, she looked at me and she said, "Honey, you are such a great nurse. Why don't you get back in?" And I'm like, I don't care how great I am. I am burnt out. I can do something else. And that is what I mean by you have the right, to shed those old layers of yourself. Okay. It doesn't mean that you just throw that all away and you don't look at it as a negative thing. You look at it as a part of your journey that helped to build you into the woman that you are today. Fun fact, the word for wisdom in the Hebrew has the idea of building a house. All right. So think of yourself like that. You are building yourself. All right. And you are building yourself with different layers of who you are because of the wisdom that you have gained. Now, before you get to this point, you have to shed those layers. What are those layers? All right. Number one, limiting beliefs. The belief that you cannot pivot and change because you want to. All right. And sometimes people call it a midlife crisis, yada, yada, yada. We are now learning that we have a right to pivot and to shift because that's what we want to do. It's not always a crisis, right? In some cases, when people are dealing with mental health and they are coming out of abusive relationships and toxic relationships, sometimes a crisis has to happen in order for you to shift. But shifting does not mean that you are in a crisis. It means that you are evolving. So you have to shed those limiting beliefs, such as staying stuck in survival mode. Okay, as a single mother, when I was a single mother, and I was a single mother for about 15 years, right, until I met my husband and I could do that shift. I was stuck in survival mode. Five, listen to their ages: 31, 30, 28, 26, and 23. Okay. It sounded like I had some triplets in between, so some twins. Boom, 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 boom. I was in survival mode and I was single because my children's father was out in the streets. Okay. And even if your children's father is giving you money and you are the only parent at home because you're living in two separate households, they out doing their thing and you stuck at home taking care of your children, you are stuck in survival mode, right? And I talk about that in my mental wellness group. It is not good for you, all right? So you have to shed that belief off of you, and you have to find a way, even if you're single, to curate a life that is not in survival mode. And I know the single mothers is like, huh, how do you do that? That's a whole different video, because I believe that you can. And I believe that you have to cultivate a community and surround yourself with positive people, like minded people, right? That will help you on your journey, right? But you don't even have to be a mom to be in survival mode, right? You could just be single, no kids, your job, your family may be pulling on you, your friends may be pulling on you, and you may feel like you're in survival mode all the time because maybe you have some unhealed trauma that will keep you in survival mode. Another limiting belief: you want approval from other people. Listen, by the time you cross that half of 100, I am 51, you closer to 100 than you are away from it. Okay? So something clicks in your brain and tells you, I don't care about what others say. You only have so many years to live once you reach this halfway mark. I want to live to at least 120, but tomorrow is not promised to me. And I do not have time to think about what others think, especially those of us that are in any type of faith sector, no matter the belief system. Religion will choke hold you. I have my faith. I believe in the Bible. I walk as Messiah walked, but the community that I was a part of, and that was Christianity, and now, Judaism, or a form of Judaism, I should say, they will stifle you. And as you are walking and you are cultivating your faith walk, and you're reading the scriptures for yourself, and you're studying for yourself, you realize that a lot of what they're saying is not founded in truth, it's founded in tradition. So I'm talking about me, because I was like, I don't want to dress like a pilgrim. I don't want to dress like a Quaker. All right. I like to have my arms out. Okay. I don't wear dresses all the time. I like to wear dresses because that's what I think I look good in. I also wear jeans. I also wear sweats. And I also wear slacks or trousers. Okay? But I'm not walking around in a dress just to make you feel comfortable, right? I'm not covering up if that's not what I want to do all the time to make you feel comfortable, right? I'm not going to not wear makeup to make you feel comfortable, right? Even with my hair, I'm still natural, but I said I'm in my 50s. I had to combat night sweats and things of that nature, and I'm older. I don't feel like making sure every curl is in place. I just don't feel like it, and I don't owe nobody no explanation, honey, about how I wear my hair. you know, I wear my hair the way I want to because that's what I want to do. And it fits my lifestyle. And I don't have to be approved by others, right? So that's what I mean. When you come into yourself as a more mature woman, honey, shake that off. Because you only got so many years to live. And you need to be as happy and joyful as you possibly can. All right, and my last point, because this is going to be a series, so make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell, honey, so you can continue to get this wisdom. All right. I know I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to have acquired wisdom. All right. So, my last point: obsessing over what could be and holding on to what was. Listen, I could hold on all day to what was. Me being a nurse, right? Me being not married. You have to like divorce yourself from those limiting beliefs so that you can grow and evolve. You can't sit here and obsess over what could be. If I just, you need to get up and do something about it. Why? Because you can. It's not over. Honey, you got more clarity, supposed to anyway. You are more mature. You're supposed to be anyway, right? And you just got more knowledge about life because of the experience that you have acquired over the years. So you have a right to evolve. So sitting up fantasizing about what could be, woulda, shoulda, coulda, just get up and do. A part of evolving is about trying something new. You know, we are not our grandmothers back in the day. And I respect my grandmothers. I respect my mother, my great aunts, my aunties. Listen, I gained a lot of wisdom from them. They know a lot more than what I know right now. However, it doesn't stop me from evolving and saying, you know what? It's okay that I care about my skin. It's okay that I want to appear a little bit youthful, right? It's okay if I don't want to wear moo every day. I know moo is still a thing, but it's okay if I don't want to wear it every day, right? It's okay if I want to look a little jazzy. It's okay, right? I don't have to wear the permanent press with the crease down the middle, polyester, you know, suits. I don't have to wear the church hats. I don't have to wear things, up to my neck and down to my ankles if I choose not to, right? I really don't have to. I can evolve. I can take care of my body, right? Make sure my skin is great. Okay, I can use the wisdom from my foremothers and still evolve and get better, right? So when I say I'm not like my foremothers or my grandmothers, that's not to throw shade. That is to say I am gaining the wisdom that they have and also evolving, right? And keeping true to what I want to become, right? So if I don't want to sit on the steps all day and wave to the postman or the post lady, I don't have to, right? I could get up. I could go take a dance class if I want to. I could learn another language. I could travel. I could change careers. I could retire early. Whatever it is that I want to do, I can evolve to do that. All right. So please continue to follow me because we have several parts to this um, 50s and wisdom and advice and identity. All right. So I hope something that I have said has helped you. And please, you know, leave in the comments any advice that you have that can help me and can help other women. All right. See you soon.